Hi and welcome to 5 Minutes French Grammar Fixes. Bonjour et bienvenue à 5 Minutes French Grammar Fixes. Today, adverbs. Aujourd'hui, les adverbes. So, first of all, let's ask ourselves what an adverb is. An adverb is a word or a series of words, in fact, that modifies the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or even another adverb. And adverbs can express time, or place, or quantity, or intensity, or even doubt. Now, if you want a little reminder on a tune, have a look at this link for a song about adverbs. Okay, first of all, what is typical of an adverb? Well, an adverb is usually one word, and in fact, in English, it's often a word that finishes in ly. But sometimes it's actually a few words put together. Now, the adverbs that end in ly, you can work out, and we'll see about that in a minute. The others you need to learn as just as another piece of vocabulary. But the one thing that is really important about adverbs is that they're words that never change, unlike adjectives or verbs, which typically in French do change. So, a lot of adverbs in English end in ly, ly. And in French, a lot of adverbs end in ment, M-E-N-T. So what you do is you take your adjective. So let's say you already know that true is vrai. To make it into truly, you're just going to add ment. So this is true, no pun here, for all these adjectives that end in a vowel. However, if the vowel is an E or an E accent, instead of ment, you add aimant, and that's why énorme, enormous, becomes énormément, enormously. What about adjectives that end with a consonant? For those adjectives, you need to take the feminine form of the adjective and you have to add ment, M-E-N-T. So if you look up the adjective happy, you can see that in the dictionary it says heureux, heureuse. So heureuse is your feminine form of the adjective. So you take that and you just add ment and it becomes heureusement. If your French adjectives is finishing with en A-N-T, you have to replace those three letters with amant, okay, A-M-M-E-N-T, and that's why constant becomes constamment. If your adjective ends in ENT, even though it's still that en sound that you have in A-N-T, you replace the ENT with E-M-M-E-N-T. But it's the same pronunciation, so we go from patient to patiemment. Okay, irregular adjectives and therefore irregular adverbs. I bet you were waiting for this one to come up. There are some common adjectives that are completely irregular in their feminine form and in their adverb form. Okay, so have a look at these. And if you want a little bit more guidance about the words good, bad, and well, have a look at my 5 minutes French grammar fixes on good and bad. Finally, where do you put these adverbs in your sentence? Well, just like with adjectives, you have to think about where you're going to put them in your sentence. With adverbs, you need to look at the other words in your sentence, and that's going to help you decide where your adverb is going to go. So if your adverb is modifying the meaning of an adjective, it will go in front of the adjective. That's why you say very pretty, très joli. Easy, like in English. If your adverb is changing the meaning of a verb, and there's only one part to your verb, it will go after the verb, and that is different to the English. So he often sees his grandparents because il voit souvent ses grands-parents. He sees often his grandparents. And then when you've got two parts to your verb, your adverb needs to go in between those two parts. Okay, so I have understood well. I have well understood. J'ai bien compris. Now, there is an exception to that particular example, and that is if the adverb is quite long and ends in ment. So if you want to say, he worked regularly. Il a travaillé régulièrement. And you can hear régulièrement as a much longer adjective than bien or très or whatever. And finally, you have to be prepared to be a little bit flexible with some adverbs, in particular the ones that express time and manner. It's a little bit a question of subtlety and what it is you want to emphasize. But sometimes, you've got options. So you could be saying hier, elle est venue à 2 heures, or you could be saying elle est venue hier à 2 heures.